This is EcoTEC's EcoTEC Roundup show from Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to EVs in Aotearoa. Switch today at ecotecity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup in the world of clean cars and green energy. I am super glad you're here. We start today's show with some fantastic news out of the US state of California, whose Air Resource Board has just passed a proposal banning the sale of all new fossil fuel-powered light-duty vehicles by 2035. While California is not the first US state to announce a plan to phase out ICE vehicles entirely, Washington state passed its own ICE vehicle ban with effect from 2030, California's car market represents more than 10% of all new cars sold annually, and so this new regulation will make a big impact on the cars the auto industry produces. It's worth noting too that right now a total of 17 states follow California's zero-emission vehicle mandate, thus expanding the likely places where this ban will take effect in 13 years' time. In the interim, the California Air Resource Board has increased the percentage of zero-emission vehicles automakers must now make between now and 2030. Just as Tesla CEO Elon Musk hinted Tesla would to continue to drive the price of full self-driving up, the automaker will soon add $3,000 to the price of FSD. Spec a new Tesla today and you'll be able to buy full self-driving for $12,000, but come September 5th that price will increase to $15,000. Of course, FSD isn't yet rolled out to customers' cars and hasn't yet passed necessary legal hurdles to get widespread deployment, so right now you won't get to use FSD unless you're someone who was granted access to Tesla's FSD Beta test program. Calling FSD quote-unquote ridiculously cheap last month, Musk has implied that the price hike won't be the last and stands by his promise that Tesla hopes to successfully take FSD out of beta this year. That said, Musk has been promising us FSD-like performance now for over a decade. Last week, Kia finally revealed the EV6 GT at the Monterey Car Week, and following a European debut of the same at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, it's got lots of us drooling. Built on the same eGMP platform as the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Genesis GV60 and the regular Kia EV6, the GT variant is built not for range, but performance. It pairs up the stock eGMP's 77.4 kWh battery pack with a 160 kW front motor and 270 kW rear. It has a special drift mode out of the box and does the stoplight sprint in 3.4 seconds on its way to an electronically limited top speed of 161 miles per hour, which is 260 kilometers per hour. Kia says it can out-accelerate a Ferrari Roma and a Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider rear-wheel drive, and all we want to do here is take it for a spin. After being in the crosshairs of the Dawn project for months and following a particularly vicious TV ad campaign from the same, Tesla has officially got its legal department involved. This week, Tesla sent a cease and desist notice to Dan O'Dowd, the billionaire software mogul who has made it his personal mission to discredit and smear Tesla's FSD. O'Dowd's company, Green Hills Software, claims it builds systems that cannot fail or be hacked, and alleges, through an independent campaign organisation called the Dawn Project, that Tesla's full self-driving system is dangerous and should be banned. In the Dawn Project's most recent ad, aired nationwide, a Tesla is shown hitting a child mannequin on a closed test course, and there have been multiple concerns raised that the car was not operating in FSD when it was filmed. Ignoring requests for clarification, O'Dowd is now trying to discredit journalists who asked questions. Ford has officially opened the order books for its 2023 model year Ford Mustang Mach E, and as expected, there have been tweaks to pricing and specs. New for this year, all Ford Mustang Mach E models from the entry-level Select up will get all of the necessary hardware required for Ford's Blue Cruise to operate, with higher-end models getting Blue Cruise free for 3 years, and the entry-level Select variants getting a 90-day trial. Premium extended range models will also get an additional 13 15 miles, 21 kilometers of range per charge compared to last year's model. As with every other car on the market today, pricing has increased for 2023, with the entry-level Select rear-wheel drive standard range now starting at $46,895 before fees and incentives. New model year production starts soon. As proposed by Tesla and voted on at Tesla's most recent shareholder meeting, Tesla executed its latest 3-for-1 stock split this week. Taking place at the end of trading on Wednesday, Tesla issued new shares at a ratio of 3 new shares for every 1 share previously held in the company, diluting Tesla's share price to 1/3 of what it was at the close of trading. This not only increases the number of Tesla shares in circulation, but slashes the effective price of Tesla shares, making it easier for retail investors, private citizens who personally buy and sell securities and shares, to be able to buy stock. While stock splits aren't as popular today as they once were, it's a well-known fact that following a stock split, an in-demand share tends to go upwards as investors perceive the stock split as more affordable than the pre-split stock. It's official. Just 1 week after we published our rather scathing review of the Mazda MX-30 EV, the company has announced it's sold out of all US allocations of the same. Although I don't think we're to blame. Yes, that's right, the limited range, oh so expensive MX-30 has now reached a heady 505 vehicles sold, and right now, Mazda has declined to comment on if there will be any 2023 model year MX-30s sold. Given that the car doesn't qualify for US federal tax incentives under the just-signed Inflation Reduction Act, and sales are abysmal, we're expecting this to be all that Mazda is going to sell. And given that one of you reached out to let us know that an MX-30 with minimal accident damage was recently written off because Mazda couldn't get replacement parts to fix it, well, we can't say we're surprised. And if you haven't checked out our review yet, well, it's well worth a watch. It's official. Electric vehicles have the lowest annual fuel cost of all light-duty vehicles on sale today. That unsurprising verdict was announced by the US Department of Energy this week, which has been calculating the operating costs of all 2022 model year light-duty vehicles on sale in the US. It not only showed that across the board, from small cars through to large cars, SUVs, pickups and vans, that electric vehicles were by far the cheapest to fuel, but also quite deftly showed that all battery electric vehicles cost less than $1,000 to fuel per year, assuming an average 15,000 miles split between 45% highway and 55% city. The same wasn't true for plug-in hybrids though, which were sometimes more expensive than gasoline vehicles to fuel. Transitioning the world's school bus fleet to electric vehicles will not only get millions of polluting diesel buses off the road, but it'll help the electrical grid too. That's the verdict of Highland Electric Fleets, which has just published the details of the summer job that the Highland-provided electric bus fleet in Beverly, Massachusetts had over the summer. It supplemented the electrical grid. Thanks to a collaboration between Thomas Built Buses, Proterra, Rhombus and Signup, Highland Electric Fleets were able to feed back power to the electrical grid in Massachusetts during the summer vacation, when school buses are used far less frequently than they are during school time. Over 32 grid events during the vacation period took place, and the bus fleet provided more than 7 megawatt hours of power, enough to run 600 homes for a day, back to the grid. This reduced grid strain and the need of the local utility to spin up a peaker power plant. When you sign up to become a beta tester, there's an inherent understanding that you're going to be testing a product or software that may not quite be ready for prime time yet. Your duty as a beta tester is to provide feedback on bugs and user experience, but traditionally how you provide that feedback is through non-public channels. And for early beta testers of Tesla's FSD, that's how Tesla operated, requiring testers to moderate their public discussion of the system. But since Tesla's removed much of its NDAs on the system, we've seen more and more people talk publicly about the strengths and weaknesses of Tesla FSD Beta. Yet this week, when a Tesla FSD Beta tester spoke publicly about the latest iteration of FSD Beta, version 10.69, Elon Musk was quick to chide them, stating that they shouldn't be complaining about early beta releases. It's unexpected retort from Elon Musk. Before we go to the last two stories, a quick question. Are you in the market for a new electric car? If you are, and you live in Aotearoa, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide at ecotricity.co.nz. It is packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you, and includes plenty of details about incentives you can get, charging providers you can charge up with, and of course, how to get a charging station at home. Follow the link today and start your journey. When getting a new car, the majority of us seek to finance that purchase through some kind of lease or loan agreement. And for many of us, that means applying to a local bank or credit union and hoping that our credit scores are good enough that we'll get a good rate. In recent years, we've seen financial institutions offer discounted rates for going electric over ICE. But this week, the Bank of Australia went one step further, announcing that it will no longer fund personal loans for internal combustion engine vehicles from 2025 onwards. After that date, if you'd like to borrow some money to get a new car, the bank will only consider your application if you're buying a battery electric vehicle, which frankly is a great move on the bank's part and, I hope, encourages more people to dump the pump for good. Good on you, mate. And finally, we've talked at great length before about how electric bicycles can really help people transition away from fossil fuels, and based on the sales data, most people agree. Traditionally, electric bicycles are big and bulky, with in-wheel motors, poor geometry, and the kind of manoeuvrability that means you're best sticking to on-road riding. But this week, Onyx Motorcycles unveiled a new electric bicycle that it says will change the game. And we've got to admit, we think it will. Enter the LZR, an all-electric, super powerful dirt jumper that has all of its sensitive power electronics hidden in the down tube and its electric drivetrain hidden in the bottom bracket. It has a 0.5 kWh battery pack, a choice of 5 or 900 watt motors, and the kind of geometry that makes it possible to ride on and off-road while pulling some pretty impressive stunts too. We cannot wait to get our hands on one. And on that note, we are done for the day, but before I go, do make sure you've hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from this channel. And of course, if you haven't already switched, why not switch to Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company? It is super easy to make the switch, and you're going to be helping the nation wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean green power that will keep the land beautiful for future generations. I'll be back soon with more awesome content, as will the lovely Gavin Kiwi EV Shoebridge, and we'll be back here next weekend for another roundup show. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Nikki Gordon Bloomfield. Ka kite. See you next time.